Alright, we're just gonna call it good and see what happens.
Okay,
Hi from
let's
South
see.
Bronx. Hello from Michigan on my
Hello.
I'm still pulling some stuff down, so yes.
Yes, so we're gonna talk about a lot of cool stuff today or tonight because it is 11 p.m. my time. I'm also gonna, let's see. I'm also gonna try to, let's see. I'm gonna share this live real quick.
Is there any way, I don't know how the screen works, but is there any way to turn off the other requests? Or did you turn it on for 6 people? Because it looks like there's 6 people who can join.
I have no clue. To be honest with you, I don't know. This is the very first time that I've ever done a live like this.
Yeah, you might
Let's
want
see.
to turn it to 2 people, so.
Okay, let's
Otherwise,
see.
people might be getting a million requests.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. All right, does anybody know how to do it? Because that would be really helpful.
Do it! Hello,
All right.
hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We're still getting set up, but
Yeah,
yes, we're gonna be talking about Pokemon history.
yes.
Woo!
A lot of fun Pokemon history. I'm really excited.
Yeah, indeed. So just sit tight for a moment, and in the meantime, tell us what your favorite Pokemon is.
Yes. Okay. I believe it's funny because, like, on my end, it says that you could still invite people, but I don't know if that's what you guys see because, quite honestly, this is my first time doing this one. So I've never done one with multiple people before, so this is going to be really interesting. We're going to be talking about, so someone asked if we're talking about game history or history in general. And we're talking about a bunch of different stuff today because I have a Suicune giant as of today. It is my very first Tomy giant, and we're going to talk about what that is. So if you don't know what that is, it is okay. I do not expect you to know what that is. Most people don't know what that is. So, yeah, just hang tight for a moment. We're going to get it together. I also have some cool event distribution stuff in here that we could talk about too. I have some gold cartridge, crystal cartridge. I have a ruby cartridge too. And all of these have PCNY, Pokemon Center New York event Pokemon on them. So we could talk about that too.
Did you do dual live or did you do multi?
What was that?
It should be called dual live together, I think.
Dual Live.
See if that's a
Yikes.
thing.
Let me
Yep,
see.
it should just be dual.
How do you do it?
So yes, we will be talking about lots of fun things in regards to Pokemon. For those of you who don't know me, I am official legendary Luna. Hi, nice to meet you all. I do not specialize at all in the American Pokemon history, but if you were to ask me about Japanese, Korean, everything else, I would probably know about it. However, I don't know the games as much as Julie does. She's all around in the gaming department. But when it comes to merchandise, that's what I specialize in. So.
Yes, we are Pokemon nerds. We know way too much about Pokemon. Between the two of us, we could rule the
It, it's
world.
it's it's pretty bad, but tonight we have a
Yeah.
lot of fun stuff in store for you all. We have lots of fun uh history, like Julie said. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm kind
Yes.
of like, let's not spoil it. But yes.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Let me
Should
see
just
what I
be
could do.
dual, Julie.
Okay, so how do I do it? Literally, I do not know.
Oh my god. So you're gonna have to entertain people really quick.
Yeah. So for those who do not know, I am the co-author of the Pokemon Center New York historical website. I I do a lot of stuff pertaining to that store. It is now closed. It has been gone since 2005, but I know a lot about it. There is a website called PokemonCenterNewYork.com. It was created by another really popular person on TikTok known as MuseMeans700. I am her co-author. I have been managing, updating, moderating that website for like 3 years. I've been researching, I've been working really hard on it. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's been a really great experience over the past 7 years that this site has been out. Um, but yeah, that's basically it. Today we're going to be talking about the history of the Tomy Giant plushies. They're a really cool group of plush that I just got my very first one today, as you can see right here, and it is a really big deal for me.
Yes, the Tomy Giants are actually grails amongst many collectors within the Pokemon community. They used to be more common when they first were around. However, what did they retail at, Julie, way back in the day?
Oh, I
I know
could give
you
you the
have
exact
information.
figures. Do you want me to give you the exact figures? I literally have them in front of me.
For back in the day, yes. For what they
Okay,
originally retailed for.
so originally, here's what we know. So let's go through what the giants were, which characters they were. So there was a giant Lugia, there was a giant Raikou, Suicune, Entei, Latios, Latias, Tyranitar, Snorlax, and Lapras. Lugia and Entei, as well as Raikou, Suicune, we know were all $139.95, which again, in 2001 money, it's a lot of money. So they were not bought very often by most people. Um, but they were there. They were very, very popular. Even though people loved to play with them in the store, not a lot of people bought them. And for that reason, there weren't that many at a time that were put in the store. They didn't have a lot of stock on hand, is what I'm trying to say. And Tyranitar was $129.95 at the time. Uh, Again, this was in 2001, so you could do the math as to what inflation was back then. But these days, they do not go for that much. They actually go for a lot more. And I know Luna could talk about that because she's an expert in these, because she has almost all of the giants.
Yeah, I have one more that I absolutely need. I am currently on a payment plan, working to get the giant Latios. They're very expensive nowadays, but it is practically the main thing that I collect. As you can see, though, I do collect a lot of other stuff, but for those of you who are wondering, I do own a business, so I do sell a lot of stuff as well that is Pokemon related. So when it comes to the giants, I would say that Snorlax is actually probably the cheapest one currently on the market. Next would probably be Lapras, and then it would go to Suicune. Hey! Suicune, and then at this point, probably Entei, Latios, then maybe Latios, Tyranitar, and then Raikou, or Raikous and Tyranitar. There are currently, I believe, 8 or 9. I can't remember how many I listed off, but yes, so lots and lots and lots of giants
Yes,
for giant price tags, unfortunately, nowadays. But like I said,
yes,
among many collectors, they are a holy grail. And not only that, a lot of times you can find them for cheaper. It just depends on how long you are willing to wait. My collection did not come overnight. It has taken me many, 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 many years to acquire all of my giants. And yeah, I don't have
yeah.
kids, so that's what I spend my money on right now. So, but yes,
And that is
someone
valid.
asked, let's see, Dragon Itamaste asked, why did the Pokemon Center store close?
Oh, okay.
Question.
That's there's a lot of reasons why the store closed. Some are more controversial than others. I will say that. I think if I was going to give one really straightforward answer without getting into a very long tangent, because I could talk about this for like 2.5 hours straight.
That is weird.
I would say this. I would say this. The store had a lot of obstacles. It opened in November of 2001, November 16th. And this was actually, it is said that the store was actually supposed to open in that September. And again, it opened in New York City in 2001. So if you think about it a little bit, you could probably guess that that was a very difficult time to open a brand new store as a tourist attraction in New York City. So, I mean, the store did very well at first, but it had a lot of smaller internal issues. It had a lot of trouble being run by management, and it had a lot of trouble maintaining its stock. And it actually stayed open a good amount of time. It stayed until 2005, and then it closed that January. So the very beginning of 2005, it closed, and then it rebranded itself as what became Nintendo World. And then after Nintendo World, it then became Nintendo New York in 2016, which is what it is now. So the
That's a very
store
much
has,
superior store, in my
yeah,
personal opinion. But
yeah.
hey,
So
that's
I
okay.
mean,
We support all of our Nintendo games that we like, so
yes.
yes. Also, I have to give a shout out to T. Laventure 019. What's up? How are you all doing this evening? Thank you for joining us. As
Thank
we have
you.
stated, since we have, I think, 219 viewers currently, welcome, welcome. I just wanted
Nice.
to tell everybody that
Hi,
tonight we're going to
everyone.
be talking about the Pokemon Center New York Giants, along with Pokemon merchandise from the PCNY store. I am here as giant knowledge, but as you can all see, I think she's on this side of my screen. This is
Yeah.
toloveL, aka my best friend Julie. She is a knowledge base of Pokemon
I'm a
lore.
textbook.
So it's insane. Like, we'll talk about Pokemon for hours and hours and out. Like, if you want to talk about Pokemon with somebody, she is the go-to girl for everything history with the games. I am not as into the games. Like, I like them, but I can't tell you stats or anything about that. I'm just like, that's a whooper. I like that whooper. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've been
so,
talking about Pokemon for oh God,
for a
two
long
months straight now,
time.
Luna.
So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I think most people are here that are going to be here. So shall we start with the Giants? Shall we get on to that
Yes.
topic? Okay, so
Yes.
go
So, how
ahead
did we
and
get here?
yeah, how did
How
we
did
get here?
how did we get here today? So, why are we talking about the Giants today? And you're probably going, what the heck is a giant? Like, what does that mean? What is that? I don't know. Well, let's do one thing at a time. So, thing number one, if you are looking at me today, you can see that I have this giant Suicune right here. You're probably going, what is that? Well, it's a giant. This giant Suicune, this giant Suicune in particular, is a super, super rare, hard to get plush. A lot of Pokemon merch collectors like us have spent a very long time trying to get one of these. And you're probably wondering, okay, great, like it's a big stuffed animal, like why does that matter? Well, there's a lot of Pokemon history behind me right here. And the reason why is because this plush is from 2001. And
Vintage.
it is a vintage plush. And I will say this, Luna, for those who are just joining now, Luna has almost all the giants. I have one, and it cost me a lot of money. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So, Luna,
yes.
do you want to tell us about the giants and the history, the Japanese history of the giants? And
So
then
the
I will get to the
Japanese
PCNY history.
so the Japanese history of the Giants is pretty straightforward. They basically came out around the same time as the American ones. I believe that the movies brought them little bit earlier to the Pokemon centers in Japan. Now, the Pokemon centers in Japan used to not be as pretty much in every prefecture. Basically, what they were is they were in Tokyo. I think there was one in Okinawa, and there was like three major ones, to my knowledge, as of today. That could change. We're always learning more about the history of the Japanese Pokemon stores and Pokemon Center stores as well. Now, like I said, there were quite a few giants made. What I say, like 8 or 9. I can. Oh, we forgot Lugia. Lugia is also in there, so there's 9. So yes, so they came out basically during the first movie, I believe. Was it? No, second movie. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the catalog again. But they came out a while ago, 2001, for America, and probably like 2000-ish in Japan. So yeah, there were two. exclusives to my knowledge, and that was Latios and Latias. They never came to America. The only ones that did come to America, and again, please do correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, was Raikou, Suicune, Entei, and Tyranitar and Lugia. Yeah. So, and then Pikachu. There
And
is a
Lapras.
giant Pikachu. Oh yes, and Lapras. Now,
And
there is a
Lapras.
giant Pikachu as well. But I don't really consider it giant just because he's still kind of a little bit of an oddball to me. I'm still researching, so I don't want to claim him as a giant fully. Now there are some differences with the giants. There are example, the American Lapras, it has embroidered what do you call those, spots, flecks on her neck
Yeah,
and body,
spots.
spots. So those are embroidered, whereas the Japanese one is actually airbrushed, and it's honestly, I probably wish I had the American one just due to the fact that it's embroidered and a little bit nicer quality in my personal opinion, believe it or not. And then Lugia, the Japanese Lugia has a longer neck to my knowledge. I can't remember which one it is. It's either the American or the Japanese one, but one of them has a longer neck. So we will happily share those, but in the meantime, I'm going to get Lapras out, and then I forgot about Lugia, so I'm going to have to get him down. But Julie will continue on talking about her giants.
Yes.
In the meantime,
So while Luna deals with
struggles.
the technical aspect, while Luna struggles to find Lugia, let's talk
Lapras.
about or Lapras. Let's let's talk about PCNY a little bit. So, as I mentioned, in 2001, there was a Pokemon Center New York store. This was the only time there was ever a Pokemon Center permanently in the United States or really anywhere outside of Asia. There have been pop ups throughout the years that I'm sure people know about. So, like, there was one in France, there was one in England at one point, but those were not permanent. This was. There was a permanent Pokemon Center store in New York from 2001 to 2005. And when the store opened, they were selling these lovely giants. They were selling a lot of different plush. So, with me today, I'm going to actually show you some of the stuff that they sold there. So, we have smaller Tomy plush, like this one. This is a Togepi, obviously, but as you could see, the Pokemon Center New York store had a special tag on their Tomy plush, or at least the tiny ones. And some of them are even coupons. It has a store map on the inside, which is pretty neat. At the time, the latest movie was Pokemon Forever. That was coming out in the US. So a lot of the merch that was coming out was like Suicune, Pikachu, Celebi, yada yada. You get the idea. And the reason why I bring this up is because this guy is also made by the same company that made this little guy. And that I find pretty cool. It's like a teddy bear-ish fabric. They're called Tomy Fuzzy Plush because they're made by Tomy and they're also super fuzzy. I also have with me a tiny Totodile one. And again, these are not super duper expensive. You could find them on eBay pretty easily these days. The tiny ones I'm talking about. Um, they're pretty simple, but they're good quality. They've lasted a long time and they work. So with me, I have a tiny Entei plush. So this Entei is called the Paki Paki Entei. I think that's what they called it in Japan, right, Luna?
Yep,
I know
Pocky Pocky.
I know it's they did not call it that in the US. In the US, it was literally called the bendable plush series because they're a little bit bendable. Not super bendable, but a little bit. This Entei that we're looking at right here has a giant counterpart that Luna has with her, and this is the tiny one. I do not have a giant one. This is my only giant. But this is what the tiny Entei would look like. So you could go to the store, you could either get a small plush or you could get a giant because again, giants were very expensive, so not everyone could afford them back in the day. There we're looking at Luna's giant Entei and this is my teeny one. That's an awesome image right there. Look at that.
I know,
Super,
he's
super
very
cool.
funny. But yes, this
Yeah.
is the Japanese Tomy giant Entei plush. So yeah, he's a big boy. He does still have his tag, which would have said his probably the movie name. Can't really tell, I don't think,
Yeah.
but yes, this would have been the giant one that came out during the third Pokemon movie. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
And then
yes,
look at the
this is a
difference
very
in the
big book.
tags too.
Huh?
This is the tiny one. Look at the difference in the tags too. Like this is the tiny one. And then when you open
Now,
it up, it looks like this.
if you were to find the Japanese one, it would not have those tags. What Julie has is the actual American Pocky Pocky or posable plush. The Japanese one actually came in I think it was a bag. It's like plastic,
A
cardboard. It
big
was weird.
plastic bag.
It's
Yeah,
like
there was different
plastic.
packaging from US to Japan,
Yeah,
for sure.
so that's pretty much the main difference. But overall, to our knowledge to date, they're basically the same exact plush. So,
Yeah.
yep. So
Basically
this
the
is the big
same,
boy.
just different sizes.
Yep, very different size.
Um, and then another interesting difference is if you look at the Japanese versus the American releases, they actually have different, we call them tush tags, even though they're not always on the little behind, because they're usually like on the foot or on the back of a plush. I don't know if you can even see that, but I don't even know if you can see it. But this is the US one because this specific plush was sold at Pokemon Center New York. They also sold them at Pokemon Center Online as well. The only one, to my knowledge, that they did not sell in terms of the Giants at Pokemon Center Online was Raikou, I believe. Because I know they had Raikou in the Pokemon Center New York store, but I don't think they had him online. So if you have a Raikou Giant, you have a little bit of the history, a little extra piece of history. Really, if you have any Giant, you have history, but Raikou in particular is kind of interesting. There's
So
Raikou.
here's Raiko. They take me a minute to look it up. So this is Raiko. He did not come with this fancy bandana, but my one friend put a bandana on hers. Her name is Maisiekin on Instagram. You all should go follow her. She's super sweet.
She's the
Yeah. So
best, best
we
collection
did
website.
Raiko. But yes, this would be the giant Raiko you would see at the PCNY Center. This one is actually from the PCNY Center. He is not Japanese. He does have the American tush tag, which has that weird address, and instead of it being on his behind, it's on his leg.
Yes.
So yes. And unfortunately he doesn't have the tags, but if you want a closer look up of him, this is the golden boy. He's a good bean, but and he's very, very high quality. If you can ever find one of these, I highly recommend snatching it up. They are extremely rare, and this has a very special story to it, but I won't get into that tonight.
I love doing this live stream with Luna just because she's so knowledgeable about these Pokemon Giants. I mean, again, a lot of collectors look for these things, and very few of us actually have them because, again, they were so big that most
It's
people
hard
who
to
had
find.
them, yeah, most people who had them either got rid of them over the years or didn't take good care of them. A huge problem with a lot of giants is that their legs, like Suicune, a lot of Suicunes that you will find will, their legs will kind of get warped from, standing upright for so many years. Because again, this plush is over 20 years old now. So, I mean,
So
it's an old one.
speaking of Suicune, let's go to Suicune. Hold on. I only got so much room in this area. So this is Suicune. Julie, you can see her Suicune in the back. They are both Japanese. However, mine, I was very lucky. You guys can probably not see it very well. Man, move your little beard. It does have its tag. This is what the Japanese tag would look like on Suicune. The American tags were different. We do have the PDF versions of them. I would have to pull them up on my computer, and
They're
that's gonna take me
actually
a
they're
long time.
actually on the website. They're
Oh yeah, the
on.
website.
hmm
There
So
you
if you
go.
want to see, yeah, if you're curious and you want to see what the American Western release, PCNY really release of this giant Suicune, what the tag looked like, you can go to PokemonCenterNewYork.com, which is again, for those who are just joining in, that is a website that I've been co-authoring alongside Mew is Me 700, who many of you probably know on here. And I've been modding that website and adminning it and updating it and dealing with the back end stuff and adding research to it for 3 years. So if you want to see that tag or more information about the Giants or really anything about the Pokemon Center New York store, it's all there. It's a really great resource.
Another thing, I don't know if they sent these with the American ones, but when you purchased a giant in Japan, what they would do, because Japan's on top of it, they would give you a special bag to put and store your giant in. I don't know if they were all blue. I think they were. And it would say Pocket Monster on it. And then it would have the info as well as like how to take care of it in Japanese right there. So this
That
is
is the
something that
coolest thing.
yes, this is something that not very many people have. I was honest to God surprised it came with the one I had. Was not expecting that. So that is a cool little piece of history. Even though it's just basically a fabric sheet, it's cool. It's just cool.
Yeah, that is the coolest thing. It really, really is so cool because that's honestly a fact I didn't even know.
They're all scanned for you, and then you can put it on like the site to tell the difference or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really cool. It's cool I mean, again, this community is such an amazing group. I mean, there are so many different kinds of merch collectors, really. There are plush collectors, there are figure collectors, there are card collectors, game collectors. Speaking of games, I have a lot of those. So those of you who don't know me well, or maybe you do, I don't know. I am an expert in the Pokemon distribution events that were given out at the Pokemon Center New York store, and I have compiled a massive, massive section on PokemonCenterNewYork.com talking about just that. So
You have
today,
a comment that says by, oh gosh, I'm gonna try to pronounce this right, and I'm probably not going to. Name Dakai. Sorry if I butchered your name. They say, I appreciate your documentation of Pokemon Center history. That's what they said, Julie.
oh
Did you hear
damn,
me? Yeah.
yeah, I
So, well, thank
I
you. We
appreciate.
are happy to share in everything that we know, because we don't want collectors getting ripped off. I'll tell you that, but at least that's from my stance. I don't want collectors to get ripped off and spend, again, I'm mainly a plush person, figure person, etc., dealing with the Japanese stuff. I don't want people getting ripped off in the sense of buying bootlegs or spending $10,000 on a Pokédoll that's not worth it. So, yeah, but if you want to talk about the gaming stuff, that is all Julie. So take it away on that end.
Yeah, no, I have at this current moment, I have this over here. Let me see. So this here is the Pokemon Center New York Game Boy Advance. It was a special one that you could, they say it was exclusive to the store. I promise you, it was not. And it was a really awesome thing that would basically allow you to play the games, but with like a cool Pokemon Center New York twist, right? So, what I could show you today is I have some cartridges, and I'm not going to show you on the actual Game Boy because the screen dimness is so garbage on it. But I could show you on this Pikachu Game Boy Advance SP. So let's look at some Pokemon Center New York Pokemon real quick, just for the heck of it. Why not? Let's get this going. While Luna shows us Latios.
Since we said it was giants, I'm like, all right, I'll get them down for everybody and destroy half the room.
Here we go. Here we go. So this, I don't know if you could even see it from there. Can you see it?
I personally can't, but
Let me see. Bear with me, guys. I don't know if you can you see it now?
yep, that's better.
All right, so this was the actual PCNY Suicune that was given out in the store in Gen 2. And it was a really, 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 really rare thing to get a shiny at the Pokemon Center New York store. There were not many given out. It had a very low chance, and it ranged between like literally like under a percent all the way up until like 12.5%. Other than a couple events where they literally had a fixed odds thing going on, but that was uncommon. So, um, these events have all been archived. Not, well, I'm not going to say every single Pokemon Center in New York Pokemon has been archived, but I will say a good portion of them have been archived on Project Pokemon, which is a website that allows you to save your save files and the Pokemon that are on your save files so that they're archived for the future. If you have any cool event Pokemon lying around, please go visit that website. I beg of you, because we look for things all the time, and there are a lot of event Pokemon that are missing. But anyway, back to PCMY. So I'm gonna show you guys Suicune again while Luna's, looking at stuff behind her. This is what a PCMY Suicune looks like. I don't even know if you can see it. Oh, there we go. And if you ever see, I'll say this too. If you ever see a PCNY Suicune, shiny Suicune or whatever floating around online in any other kind of cartridge other than a physical crystal, gold, silver, it is not real, because this was only given out in Gen 2 and you cannot legally move Pokemon from Gen 2 to later gens, but I feel like most people know that. There were Gen 3 events at the store. They are a thing. However, there was no Suicune given out in Gen 3. So, for right now, they're locked to these. Unless you use some illegal hardware to to move things over. But we're not going to talk about that today. Instead, we're going to just go by legal methods. So, for the time being, we have, let's see, what else can I show you? We also have a Celebi. This is what a shiny Celebi looks like, if you can see that. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right. So what else can we talk about today? Luna, do you want to talk about your puppets?
Yes. So this is not history. I like these puppets. Yeah. Anyway, so going back to PCNY history, or just history in general, what I will say, I'm not gonna get him down because he's a pain to get down, but I will show you all him. Oh, my phone's plugged in. I forgot about that. Hold on one second. It shouldn't digest. Yep. So this, is the giant final one I have currently. This is the giant Lugia plush. I absolutely love him. He's probably one of my favorites. But yeah, he also still has the Pikachu. Many of them do not, because they got ripped off when being played with by kids. So, to be fair, if I was little, I probably would have ripped Pikachu off too. So, yeah, but that pretty much concludes my giants, and like everything that I know about them. And yeah, eventually I will make more videos on my end for whenever I get Latios here. So.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait until you get Latios.
Yes.
That is going to be the coolest thing.
Yeah, and then I will only have one more left, and that'll be Tyranitar. Oh, and the difference between Tyranitar Japanese versus American are the eyes. The American's eyes on
Yes.
the Tyranitar plush were sewn upside down. Why? We don't know. Manufacturing error, and they're just like, you know what? America will never know, I guess.
Yeah, no, for real. And a lot of people didn't. Tyranitar, and it was, I think, it's funny you say that, because I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why they actually sold Tyranitar for less than all the other giants.
Something tells me probably.
I mean, it could be.
That, and probably people, I don't know why they made Tyranitar out of them all, to be forward with you, but you know what? I like Tyranitar, so I'll take him.
I think it's probably because of the fourth Pokemon movie, because Tyranitar makes an appearance. Again, a lot of this merch was like directly connected to Pokemon movies. That's actually why, you know what? If you want to talk about something interesting relating to the Giants, we could talk a
Nope.
lot about Raikou.
Raikou has
So
Raikou has history. So
Raikou has history. Raikou has some serious, serious history. So, for
I'm
Raikou.
still upset
Raikou
about
is,
Raikou's history. So I'll let you
yeah,
talk about it. I'm gonna put
Raikou,
him back. Yeah.
Raikou is the only one of the three legendary beasts that does not have a mini plush. So, like I was talking about earlier today, Entei had a tiny one. Suicune also has a tiny one that I do not have, but I think Luna has it somewhere.
I do. I
Ra
can get it
yeah,
down. Hold on.
Raikou did not have a mini plush, and the reason why is because it actually was not a well-known Pokemon at the time. So a lot of people don't realize this, but during 2001, 2002, there were, up until that point, we were entering Pokemon movie 5, right? Because 4 had just come out in the United States and 5 was coming out in Japan because they were a year ahead of us. Um, and basically, movie 2, so movie 1 is about um, Mewtwo. Movie 2 is about Lugia, which we have a giant for. Movie 3 is about Entei, which we have a giant for. Movie 4 is technically about Suicune, but also, well, it's technically about Celebi, but features Suicune, and we have a giant for it. And then movie 5 has Latios and Latias, which we also have giants for. But what a lot of people don't know is that it was highly, highly speculated that movie 5 was actually, instead of Latios and Latias, was supposed to feature Raikou. It did not. And for that reason, a lot of people actually who didn't play the games, or let's say you weren't a huge, huge fan of Pokemon, but you watched the movies or the anime, a lot of people didn't know who Raikou was. It was instead of a movie given like a OVA of sorts called Raikou, or it was like Pokemon Chronicles Legend of Thunder, I believe. And it was like I think it was a three-parter. But again, if you never saw that, because most people did not, you didn't know what Raikou was. So for that reason, Raikou was not a super popular character, and they did not sell, at least at PCNY, they did not sell a ton of Raikou. Raikou was kind of um, stuck in the store, you could say, until like 2003, and then that was usually around there. I think that's when they finally teetered Raikou out. It was like 2003 ish, 2004 when they finally started getting rid of them, but. Yeah, that's the story of Raikou.
My boy got gypped.
Yeah, no,
Raikou's my
he.
favorite. So yeah, Raikou's my absolute favorite out of all the giants. Like giant, legendary dog, cats, whatever you want to consider them. So yeah,
Yeah, that is a
yeah.
huge debate in my house. That is a huge, huge debate in my house. Let me tell
I
you.
mean, technically they were supposed to be cats. They were, but then yeah, they got changed to dogs. So
Yeah,
don't know
I,
why. But yes,
yeah,
so that is practically that. That's just also how Lugia is voiced in the American and I think Japanese. I don't know so much about the Japanese, but in the American movie, Lugia's voice was actually supposed to be female.
yes, yes, that's true. That is a
But instead they
wild
changed it.
story.
That is a
That is,
huge story for another day. So,
yeah, yeah. No, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. All right. I never figured out how to get into dual mode for this live, and I
we'll
apologize
figure
to
it out.
those who are still here because
We'll figure it out. I'll probably have a live stream. I have a convention tomorrow. If you all are in the Michigan state, then I will be in Warren at Macomb College with my business, I guess you could say. So,
yay, go support Luna's business if you are in the area because she is amazing. And oh my God, I want to say something. I would not have this Suicune next to me right now if it were not for Luna because she was the
uh,
one that grabbed it for
you're
me.
good. You're good, fam. Like I'm always
No.
happy to help people find grails anytime. Just please be patient with me. I have a lot of requests. If you do go to our contact form on legendaryjapan.com, I do my best to find anything and everything for everyone.
And she does
But
a
I
great
am one
job.
person. I am one person doing all the social media, pretty much all the business, like with the different countries. I am lucky because I do have Rebel, and Rebel does print the shipping labels and help me run the site. So, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
yes, I appreciate you guys greatly. Let's see. Woo, we just got some comments at Raiko.
Ooh,
I think
hello.
delayed, so maybe he'll get love and Let's Go Johto or Legends. I hope so. I would
I
love that.
really hope so. I really hope.
And then let's see. Oh my gosh, near my hometown. Oh hey, don't tell me where you live, but I'll be in Michigan in September. I'll also be in Michigan in September. My birthday is in September. Julie, you better come
Yay.
up for my birthday.
Yes,
But yes,
that's
and
the
thank
plan.
you so much, Name Da Kai. I'm so sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, but yes, sorry about that. Yes, if I murdered your name, but what I will say is thank you so much for the good wishes. I really do appreciate that. So, like I said though, if you guys are ever looking for anything, I can probably find it. It's just it takes a while for me to find things because again, I'm one woman running an entire.
You guys are the dream team. It's you and Rebel, and you guys are the absolute dream team. And
He's the blessing. But like I always tell people, if it wasn't for you all, the business wouldn't be supported. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, for all the love and support everyone in the stream has done, for you especially as well, for helping me, just stick to it on my down days. I love you, girl.
oh, I love you too.
Yeah.
And I want to
So
say
again,
thank you for absolutely everything and helping me find this amazing Suicune. This has been a dream of mine to own one for many, many years, and it it's super surreal right now. Like I'm sitting here seeing this, and it's just crazy to me.
yeah, hey, you got it though, and I mean, it was cheaper than what most of them have been going for. So
Yes, yes, yes. I'm super, super lucky because I got a really, really, really good deal on this Suicune. Like a lot, let me just put it this way. I could not afford a Suicune at its usual price. Most of us probably could not. So it was really amazing for you to come through like that for me when I really needed you
gotta
most.
shout my main guy out. Sushi, he's also part of my team. For those of you who don't know,
Yay.
I have warehouses in different countries, and I have
Yes.
people who work for me and help me get this stuff for you all. And as I said, we're always trying to get it for as cheap as possible because collecting shouldn't be millions and millions of dollars. I believe that everybody should be able to collect what they want when they want, and then go from there. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I said,
I
we
agree.
make it work. We make it work.
Yes.
But
Yes. And I just want to say real quick before we finish everything up here, I am going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina next month for the regional championships. Okay, I'm not competing this time. My boyfriend, Pokesnaps by Aaron, is, and I will be there, cheering him on as emotional support. And I will also be having some really awesome event Pokemon with me to trade to people. So if you come find me, you can say, "Hey, I want to take the challenge," and I will know what that means. The challenge will be this, and I'm announcing it here first. Here,
that's creative. I like that.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Here's the challenge. So if when you come up to me, you will say that you would like to take the challenge, or if you are socially awkward and don't want to say all that, you could just say the word savior. I will know what it means. That is the key word. If you say this to me, or just say you want to take this challenge, I will ask you up to 3 Pokemon Center New York trivia questions. And if you answer one of them correctly, I will trade you an event Pokemon.
And she has some good Pokemon,
And I
so
got some good
and they're all
Pokemon.
legit. So that's what's even
Yes,
cooler.
yes, all of my event Pokemon are legitimate, and we're not no action replay, no Game Shark here, friends. So if you would like that and you're going to be in the Charlotte, North Carolina area next month for regionals, please come say hello to me and we will do that.
Name says that's so hard. You got this. Trust me, you got. Julie's a
You got
nice
this.
person.
And and um
Trust me.
and also, let me add this too. It is an open book test. You are allowed to look at the answers on the
Yeah,
Pokemon Center New York historical website because I will be asking questions that have answers on there. I
I
will
would
not be that
fail.
person.
I would fail
So if you want to get
miserably.
studying, now's a good time. But I will say this, you only have 30 seconds to be Googling, and we're going to be in a convention center, so it's going to get a little crowded in there. And you know how internet traffic is spaces. I think
Indeed.
so. I would recommend taking a look at the website, just reading a little bit about the store, a little bit about, whatever. Now you know some stuff about the Giants, so you're already ahead of the game if you sat through this whole thing. Um, and
You
yeah.
got 5 stars. I would rate my professors. Happy to be your Pokemon professor.
Heck yeah. Oh my God. I feel like a Pokemon professor today, especially. It's so fun.
Indeed. And we'll probably be
But
doing more live streams once we figure out more so the role of how to just duel it, because I don't know
yeah,
what you're
this is
seeing.
super
It
weird.
could be
This is the
stacked.
first
It's
time I've
very
ever
weird.
done, yeah, I've never done a live stream with other people like this before on TikTok. It's a weird format.
It'll be
We're gonna
interesting.
figure it out and do it again sometime soon, but
Yeah,
for right
so
now,
we'll probably
it's a
flip
little
flop back and
wonky.
forth. Yeah, so we'll probably
Yeah,
back flip flop back and forth. And like I said, please feel free to join our, lives anytime and come chat with us in the comments. We absolutely do appreciate each and every one of you, and just thank you. Because again, if it wasn't for the Poke Fam, we wouldn't
yeah.
have all the knowledge we do. It's because of you guys that all this is possible. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any last minute questions,
Yeah,
feel free to ask them now because we're going to
indeed.
hang tight for a few more minutes.
Anything that's Pokemon related, nothing personal. So
Nothing too,
I
yeah.
always say that because people are like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, "Ah, Michigan. That's as far as you're getting."
Yeah, if you want to know where I live in New York City. That's all you're going to get out of me.
Man,
Favorite
you can go
DS
more than
era
I
event
did. I would have just
Pokemon.
said New York State.
Ooh, ooh. Okay. Favorite
Oh, that's a
DS era
question.
event Pokemon. Okay. This is a really, really interesting one. So obviously there were a lot of event Pokemon given out over the years. But I would say my favorite one, because it's super obscure and it's super weird. There was a Nintendo World Manaphy given out at one point. It was, I believe, 2009. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure. And it was given out right before the Toys R Us event. And I love that event Pokemon simply because it is so obscure and so few Pokemon event archivists like myself know about it. Like I literally I'm telling you, the only reason why I know about this one is because I vividly remember when that event was going on. Because I'm from here. So Nintendo World was a huge part of my life when I was growing up. And I remember when that event was going on. I did not get that event when it was happening because my very first real event Pokemon was the Toys R Us Manaphy, which happened right after. But yeah, that's what I would say.
I'm really bad with events, but the Zora and Zoroark from Pokemon Black and White, I think that was an event, but that was the one that I did at GameStop, and that was it. They just kind of gave it to you, so
Was
nothing
it was
super
it
exciting.
do you mean the
Huh?
legendary beast one? Do you mean the beast one? Or
It
do you
may have been
mean
the
like
beast. No, they were giving away a Zoroark at one point, I believe. I think. Don't quote me again. I'm not the game person, but I just remember there was a Zoroark. Zora and Zoroark are my favorite Pokemon. This is actually the first plush I ever had in my collection. And if it wasn't for this little dude, this wouldn't be a thing. So, yep, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure they gave away a Zora. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
yes.
I know there were event Pokemon given out in Gen 4 that if you brought them to Gen 5, you could get Zora and Zoroark to show up. I know that
Here's
was a thing in Black and White, but
I don't know,
yes.
fam. I don't do like I said, you're lucky if I know what something's weak to because I forget. I don't have that kind of knowledge in my brain.
Yeah, no, I know way too much about this. It should be illegal for me to know this much.
Hey, no, I'm happy you do, because then you can, talk about it with other people. And then
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
see, Name says as well, my first event Pokemon was the Toys R Us Manaphy.
Yeah, so was mine. Technically, so it's a little funny with me. My very first technical event Pokemon was the Coliseum bonus disc Jirachi, but if we're not counting that one, because that one, it wasn't, I didn't physically go anywhere for that
They
one. It
did
was
say,
part
but
of a
yes,
bonus. Yeah, no, if we're talking about just going out to a place, because that used to be a thing. They don't really do events that anymore, but if we're talking about that, yes, my very first one was also the Toys R Us event, Manatee, because that's what we had where I was, and it was specifically the one I went to was that big Toys R Us store that's now gone in Times Square. They actually used to have events there. I went to the Darkrai event there, the Shaman event there. They had some others over the years, and I went to those. They did not do Gen 3 events there, though. That's a story for another day, but still makes me mad. All right, so we got a good couple minutes left. Anybody else have any more interesting questions to ask us before we?
kabam,
Yeah,
skedaddle, kabam, whatever it is. I love
I,
these
I'm
puppets.
loving the. I'm loving this puppet so much.
I love these puppets.
It's super dope. All right, cool. In that case, shall
Yep,
we say goodbye?
we shall say goodbye.
You should be a ventriloquist, Luna.
I am so good. My mouth is not moving at all. And for those of you who are interested in these puppets, this is from the Dowasura line. You can purchase these at legendaryjapan.com. They are a little bit pricey just because they're imported, and we're not going to talk about shipping because shipping prices are ridiculous right now. So, yes, here,
Yes,
I'll do a little thing. Be like,
that's Aaron in the as a puppet. He's here in spirit.
yes. So, if you'd like to support our small business at legendaryjapan.com, please do so.
Yes, please support Luna's business. Again, if it weren't for her, I would not have my wonderful Suicune that I'm so excited to have. I cannot stress how excited I am to have it. But thank you to everyone who has hung around this long. And it was wonderful to sit and talk with you for the past hour.
It
And
was.
next time we do a live, we are going to figure out this setting format.
Yeah.
But until
We
next
apologize
time,
in advance that it's kind of messed up.
yeah, no, it got a little messy, but next time we will figure it out. Alrighty. Thank you,
Alrighty, so
everybody.
thank you everyone, and we will see you next time on whatever live event we do. So yes,
Stay tuned.
have a good
Stay tuned.
night.
Good night.